Going sumo might be better for the lower gluteus maximus, and here's why. Here I got skelly. Okay, we're gonna turn it to the side. The glute max is an interesting muscle because you got attachments going like this. All right, so when you have a muscle like this, envision the center of rotation, right there in the hip socket. All the muscles below that center of rotation actually will get stretched when going sumo. The muscles above the center of rotation will get shortened going sumo. So this appears to be true up to around 80 degrees of hip flexion, which is around right here, okay? So if the exercise you do is in this range, then you get more of a stretch for the lower gluteus maximus going wide, but the middle and upper segments will get less of a stretch. So for exercises stressed from here to here, sumo is probably better for the lower glute max. In contrast, when you go really, really deep, it appears that a narrower stance puts more stretch on the glutes. So I just showed you evidence using a skeleton. The skeleton has pitfalls. You can't really represent 3D biomechanics using a plastic skeleton, but I think it's important. Now, there are 29 studies looking at stance width and glute max EMG or hip modeling, like hip loading with a sumo versus narrow stance, but we can't use those to infer muscle hypertrophy because in the Plotkin 2023 study, we found that EMG did not predict muscle growth. We also found that stretch did not predict muscle growth for the gluteus maximus. So just stretch and EMG alone can't really be used to predict, but what we can use to predict muscle growth is mechanical tension. And the only current way we have to estimate mechanical tension is through muscle modeling. I'll show you guys some charts here looking at mechanical tension on the lower glute max. And it does show that you do in fact get more mechanical tension, more active force production with the lower gluteus maximus in sumo stance when you use shorter range of motion, like I said, from 80 degrees to full hip extension. But when you go deeper than that, the advantage goes to narrower. And this just mirrors the muscle length that it's experiencing. But it should be mentioned here that both styles, sumo and narrow, experience the same levels of peak tension. So it might not matter. You might see the same glute growth whether going wide or narrow. But one thing is for certain, if you care about muscle length and you think that it matters, then you can no longer bash going sumo because it does lengthen the glute max, especially in the later 2/3 of the movement. So this infers that you might see better lower glute max growth going sumo with exercise like hip thrusts, 45-degree hypers, etc. But all of this is mere speculation. Ultimately, we need a hypertrophy study and currently none exists. Until then, feel free to go sumo for the lower glute max. I'm Bret Contreras, AKA The Glute Guy.